Postie's been. Look what's arrived. Hello, welcome to my world of stuff. A quick video this morning because this has arrived in the post. It's the new Doctor Who animation on a 3-disc Blu-ray set, The Evil of the Daleks. It's due out on Monday, but Mr. Amazon has very kindly sent it out a little bit early, and I've got my hot little hands on it today. So I thought I would just do a quick unboxing or opening, and what I will do, I will run through what's on the disc and how it looks, and then I will come back a little bit later on and update with a little review, because I'll watch the special features in the first couple of episodes just to get a general feel for how it is and give you my rating based on what I watched during the day. So this is it, Evil of the Daleks, of course, from Patrick Troughton's end of his first season as the Doctor, I do believe, unless I'm not mistaken. My Doctor Who knowledge is letting me down. Anyway, it's from Patrick Troughton's time as the Doctor, of course, first screened back in 1967. It's one of the classic Doctor Who stories written by David Whittaker. It's the very last Dalek story of the black and white era, because Terry Nation, the Dalek creator, withdrew his permission for the BBC to use the Daleks because he was trying to launch an American Dalek TV series, and we all know what happened there. Yeah, the Daleks returned back in 1972 in John Pertwee's era. But this is Evil of the Daleks. As you know, it's one of those episodes sadly missing from the BBC archives. Episode 2 exists and is on this set, but the rest of the episodes sadly have disappeared into the ether. And this is the latest in the animated range of stories, which has been coming out at an increasing pace. Not so long ago we've had Fury from the Deep came out. We've had the Faceless ones, we've had the Macra Terror, we've got Galaxy 4, the first William Hartnell animation, coming out in November. So the BBC are quite happily filling in the gaps with these cheerful animations, I think is the best way to put it. Obviously it's not Pixar budget, it's not Pixar style, but they're pretty decent in representing what was shown on television. Anyway, enough of the background. I'm sure if you're watching this you know a bit about the background. I'll just show you the set as it appears. It's got a nice slip cover, which of course replicates the actual cover of the disc. So this is what this baby looks like. On the back you see the details of the story itself and the various special features. A nice spine. So I'll take off the slip cover, get my trusty skizzles to take off the pesky cellophane, and let's have a look at this baby. So if you haven't bought it yet or you're unsure, this might help you make your decision a bit easier. So there we are, that's the set as it is, of course, the usual traditional Blu-ray case. I should say 3-disc set. It's got a booklet inside, which I shall take out. Usual booklet of Doctor Who merchandise, and a very nice little 16-page booklet about the serial with illustrations from the animation, which gives you an idea what the animation actually will look like. As usual, it's in colour and in black and white, so it's up to you which format you prefer to look at them. I think I tend to look at them in black and white because that's how they were made. Yeah, here we are, May 1967 the story was transmitted. Yeah, nice little booklet with all the details that you would possibly need to know. For completists who prefer their discs to have the classic Doctor Who DVD format, there's a reversible sleeve, so you've got the sleeve with the same cover picture but in that traditional sort of grey background with the TARDIS roundels and the lettering. So if you choose, you can flip it around. I don't really bother, I don't really care that much about those sorts of things, particularly because if you keep the slip cover, then you don't have that option. You've just got the slip cover lettering, so don't bother too much. So there we are, that's the discs as they appear. Disc 1 there is the Blu-ray Disc 2 is the Blu-ray, and Disc 3 is the Blu-ray with the special features. And the special features, in case you're interested, because of course you will be. We have episodes 1 to 7 in colour animation, episodes 1 to 7 in black and white animation, the original episode 2, that's the remaining live action black and white episode, which presumably has been remastered again, audio commentaries, although it doesn't say who they're by here. This is curious, the Evil of the Daleks audio book, narrated by Tom Baker. This came out back in the 90s, I assume. Photo gallery, animation gallery, episode reconstructions with optional commentary from Fraser Hines. Not sure what that is, whether that's sort of telesnap reconstruction. Then we have The Last Dalek. I think that's footage from the filming of the climactic battle sequence at the end. That's previously been on the DVD release. An Assignment with Grim Evil, an interview with Chris Thompson. And then the Dalek Factor, making of documentary. That's the thing I normally go for first, because I like to see those making of documentaries. And then we have the audio of... Sorry, still there. And then we have the audio of the episode 1, 1968 introduction, when it was repeated the year later. So there, Evil of the Daleks will arrive in shops that still stock physical media, on Monday. And as I said, it's being dispatched now from online retailers, and mine arrived from Amazon this morning. So I'm going to go away now, take a look at some of this, and I shall return with my verdict in a bit. Evil of the Daleks.
5 hours later.
Hello, welcome back. Well, it's a few hours later, considerable number of hours later, about 6 hours later now, and I have retired to the cinema room, as you can see, where I've watched now 4 episodes of the Evil of the Daleks animated edition, which arrived today. First of all, I'll just touch on the special features. I haven't looked at a lot of them yet. In fact, the only one I've really looked at is the documentary, the making of documentary, which runs to about 31 minutes, and it's a fairly standard Talking Heads documentary. I think it's quite noticeable, sadly, that the major players are no longer around. The director, the producer, most of the cast. So really, it's a story told by Fraser Hines, who plays Jamie. Timothy Coombe was one of the second assistant directors. I think Chris Thompson, the designer. And I think it's the daughter of Derek Martinus, the director. It's filmed at Grimsdyke House in Harrow, which is where the location filming for the story was done. So they've gone back there with a 1960s style Dalek and revisited the location, which is nice. It's a nice little piece. It's not, it's not a particularly in-depth piece, but it's just nice that they still do these little features about the making of the story. So on to the meat, of course, the actual episodes themselves. And as I've said before on my videos, I often find it hard to really immerse myself in the animation of the stories, because the animation is enthusiastic. I've never been able to, as I said, I've seen them all, but I still couldn't tell you the finer details and the points of things like the Macro Terror and the Faceless ones. Even though I've watched them, I still feel as if I don't really know the stories. But that's a little different this time, because I'm 4 episodes in now, and this is a really good story, really well told, and the animation is very good. I watched the first 2 episodes in black and white. I've watched 3 and 4 in colour, on the big screen, of course. It's the only way to go. And I must admit, it's working very well as a story. The script by David Whittaker is superb. Characterization is excellent. Dialogue sings. And the story comes across really well. As I said, 4 episodes in now, and the story sort of stayed in my head. It's not a complicated story. Obviously, we know it's the story of the Daleks trying to use the Doctor to capture the human factor that they can instill in themselves to give them an advantage in their battle against the human race, which involves sort of time travel to the Victorian era. Nice little scene at the beginning set in the 60s. And it's working really well. I think it makes a difference that the script is so good, but the animation's also excellent. I think it feels as if it's stepped up a notch. It's really very nuanced in places. It's really very good. There are some lovely sequences, for example, of the Daleks moving around the house. And there's some really nice shots of like motes of dust in the air. There's a couple of scenes of characters talking. You get that effect, the atmospherics. And that's a nice little touch that goes a little bit further than you'd expect from fairly low budget animation. And I think it generally works very well. I think the likeness is particularly of Patrick Troughton and John Bailey and Marius Goring. Supporting cast are particularly good. Fraser Hines looks good as Jamie. I mean, it's very good. It really is the best of these animations. It's the most enjoyable and the most engrossing because I'm really into the story and I want to carry on and see where it goes. Obviously, I know where it goes because I know the story and I think I saw it back in the day, but the memory is sort of gone. But it's really nice to see it again, reconstructed like this. I mean, it's always, it's not what was on screen most of the time. It's a pretty close approximation on it. I think the animation, it really helps this time. It really looks good. And in terms of the script, I've been particularly impressed with is the characterization is so good. There's a blistering scene in part 3 where Jamie confronts the Doctor, who's being a bit manipulative, and he's working, to undermine the Daleks plot, but he's only telling Jamie so much. And Jamie's just fed up with this, and he wants to a bit of time on his own. So he has this raging argument with the Doctor, which is not something you really saw a lot of in the black and white era, where the characters sort of followed the Doctor and just trusted him and did what he said. And I think that's a really nice scene, really played well between Troughton and Hines. So all in all, I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to crack on with the rest of the episodes. And I can highly recommend Evil of the Daleks. If, like me, you've been a bit iffy about the animations, if you thought, I don't want another one, there are more coming. Obviously, it is the only way we're going to see these stories on screen like this, and I think we have to accept that. But if the animation is improving to this extent, I think we could be in for some very good releases in the future. This is certainly my first sort of 5-star review of a Doctor Who animation. And if you were on the fence about buying it, I would say get out your credit card, put an order in now, because it's well worth your time. It's a great story, really well animated, and top drawer stuff. Anyway, that's it from me. Until we meet again, keep taking the stuff.